What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Big Boy Project. We are back with another episode. In today's episode, we got a special guest. We have Tarence Bailey. So, Terrence, for people who don't know who you are or know about your family, give like a brief synopsis of yourself and the family.
I'm the fifth generation great nephew of Harry Bailey, the firstborn of Harriet Bailey, the mother of Fredrick Douglass. Frederick Douglass is my 5 times great uncle. That's pretty much it.
Okay. So you wanted to come on the show to get some things straight because we did a video way back about Umar Johnson and the document. What is it? Not documentation, but you wrote like a letter exclaiming what was going on at the time. So explain to everybody about the letter you wrote about Umar Johnson.
Well, I got a phone call. So I didn't know who Umar Johnson was.
Right.
I had never heard of. I'd seen a couple things about, people had shared some crap he had said on Facebook, but I never paid any mind. And then I got a phone call from a family member one night saying that this guy was claiming to be a member of the family. And so I started looking into it, and I was told that I need to, say, hey man, you need to, find out who this cat is. So I started looking into it. I was able to, before I got his phone number, I was approached by the elders of the family, and they wanted to know who the devil this cat was. And then I was able to get his phone number. I talked to him on the phone, and I asked him, I was like, we don't know who you are. If you, was going to do something like this, how come the elders don't know who you are? And he proceeded to tell me, he goes, first of all, there's no copyright or nobody has legal rights to the name of Frederick Douglass. So I don't have to ask nobody, nothing, permission from nobody for nothing. If I want to use the name Frederick Douglass. And I think he said something when I asked about his credentials, he just basically skipped over that whole subject completely. He basically told me to go myself.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? And then the next day, he comes up with this crap about, this flunky crap. So, I'm the type person I am. I'm like,
All right, it got under your skin. Really got.
Yeah, I'm military. I'm like, oh, flunky, really? I'll show you what a flunky do. So I went back to the elders in the family. My grand uncles and grand aunts, and my grandfather passed away. He was in his 90s. He passed away while I was in Afghanistan. So I went to his brothers and sisters, which are the elders in the family. I went to them, and they were like, I grabbed my phone and I showed them, a lot of his videos and stuff like that, and and they were like, oh hell no, I should. They were like, oh no, even if and this came out of their mouth, even if for some strange reason, or because there's a lot of us, even if he did pop up with some paperwork saying, proving that he was who he said he was, no.
It came up that all the documentation you had, like the family tree, was fake.
After we put the documentation out, I mean the document, the letter out, it came to our knowledge that the tree that the family tree that he goes around saying, oh, this is this is this and this is that and yada 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 yada, he purchased that for $50.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
He purchased that for $50. And the person that he purchased it to, whose name I'm not going to put out there because that person does not want to have anything to do with it. Basically because that person told me that if that person knew what he would do with it before they took the money and gave him that copy, he would have never have gotten it, not even for the $50. Because once he got it, then he went on this freaking campaign.
Yeah, because like I said, we did videos of him before about his fake preachings, his following. I think the biggest thing, I think Mark can attest to this, that we did a video about him trying to build a black only school.
Yes.
Yeah.
And and the thing about it is, from the beginning, from the video that we watched, he was talking about the school, and he was blaming his following for not giving him enough money to build the school. And we were sitting here thinking, okay, you talking to these people, you're not giving any documentation about the school, you're not giving any floor plans about the school, you're not getting any lessons about the school, you're not telling how the teachers gonna get paid and all this. So you talking about this big, it'll be a wonderful thing if he wasn't Umar Johnson. So you talking all this wonderful stuff, talking about we gonna teach the kids real history about real history and about Black history and getting connections to Black-owned companies and stuff like that, but you're not showing the receipts. What was your opinion on that?
Okay, I got a question for you. Where's the curriculum? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna teach this, you're gonna teach that, whatever. You know, where is the real curriculum? Who's gonna teach this? You can't teach every class. You're talking about having all these kids there? You can't teach every class. First of all, who's going to teach? What are the requirements for those who want to teach there? What is your curriculum going to be? How are you going to feed these kids?
Yeah, like I said, that what we all discussed. And I would like to hear some opinions from Links and Mark about what we just talked about.
Well, it goes to echo Terence. Not only that, he asked for $1 million, I think, to build the school. That's just to build the school. That's not including all the, cost of like trying to hire staff and materials and a state of the art, and then like they said, where they're gonna stay, what they're gonna eat. That's all gonna have to come in. So you're asking this community to give you $1 million, then you're gonna charge them for probably tuition right on top of that, because that's what he's going to have to do. You know what I'm saying? So, and just hearing that the fact that he's lying just to remain relevant and thinking that in an internet age that nobody's going to clock him on that, I mean, it's just ludicrous.
What's your thoughts on the Links?
When it comes down to Umar Johnson, I've always kind of been torn, right? And I've kind of been torn because every now and then he says some shit that makes sense. You know what I mean? He says something that's like, yeah, why aren't we? Then he turns around and fucks it up with all the other shit later on. Fine. But when it came down to the school, it didn't feel right for the most part, because it was a matter of, okay, where are your plans? Personally, as someone who's now being self-employed and everything else, I have to have plans. I have to have contracts written up. I have to have pricing plans and what's happening with my taxes, and I have to do all that just as a small business owner. And if you can imagine trying to run a school and there was no plans, like, if I went to go get a loan, they want to see a business plan. You know what I mean? So what's the plan for this school? I would have no problem giving money, because you know how I feel about us doing for us. And I feel that's what we should be doing, damn it. But I now would have no problem giving the money up if I saw a plan.
Thank you.
And this has nothing to, at that point, it has nothing to do with, well, I'm going to support you just because, you're Black and that's what we need to do. At that point, it's like, well, no, I gave you the benefit of the doubt. because you're black, but now we need some reality. And if you can't give me a plan, I can't give you shit. And I mean, he's known for saying questionable, weird things. Why would he go and claim, Frederick Douglass as family? Because he probably didn't think anybody was gonna check him on it. I sure as hell didn't know that all the family members kept in touch, and there was like this whole hierarchy within the family to have to talk to. I didn't know any of that. How many people know that? So yeah, he probably figured he could claim it and get away with it, and that nobody was going to clock him on it. Little did he know. And I mean, if you think about it, how many people actually read? You get more people that'll sit there, look at the title of your video, and comment strictly from the title of your video. Won't even watch it.
Right.
So I mean, how many people were actually going to check? What I find funny is that he got caught. There was somebody out there to check.
Yeah.
Right.
How do I trust him? How do you trust him?
But like I said, you're claiming a big family. Somebody's going to check, okay? You're going on TV and claiming a big family. Somebody's going to say, let me go check this out.
And it's not just a big family. It's just when you make a bold claim of that caliber, somebody's going to do some damn fact check. I don't care if you sat there and said, I went to Hayward Elementary in 1983 or something like that. Well, let me go. There was never a student by your name there. So if you lied about that, then what else did you lie about? You know what I'm saying? So it's a topple effect. So,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, of course he lied about it. I for some reason it doesn't shock me. You know what I mean? Okay, well, yeah, of course he lied about it. I'm glad he got caught. Quite frankly,
the thing about the Bailey family is that we're all from the roots are in Talbot County, Maryland. Mm-hmm. There's only one set of Baileys, so it's very easy. It's very easy. There's only one set of Baileys that date back to slavery time. It's only, and I was born and raised there. There's still a set. The set of Baileys. There's only one set, and some of us never left Talbot County. Some took off and branched off in other places. Like my cousin Ken, he lives out in California. He was raised in D.C. He lives out in California. But there's some of us that there's some of us that never left.
So now we get it where he's not even smart enough to tell the lie properly. I really want. Would you really trust him to build your school now?
But that's the problem.
He talks about this guy. He says he's a descendant of Stephen Bailey, cousin and brother of Fredrick Douglass. Now let me blast that out real quick. First of all, there's no way that Stephen Bailey could be the brother that you can factually state that Stephen Bailey is the brother of Frederick Douglass, stating that they had the same biological father. Because Frederick Douglass stated several times in his narratives and vocally that he did not know who his father was. It was rumored that his father was Captain Aaron Anthony, the slave master or captain of what's it called? The plantation. I've been there several times. The plantation down there in Talbot County. The Y Plantation. The White House Plantation. Under Governor Lloyd, who was the governor of Maryland at the time. He claims to be. The rumor is that he was his biological father. Now, but Frederick Douglass said that he did not know that for sure. He did not know who his father was. Now, Umar Johnson's run around saying that those two men were brothers. You cannot say that and say it factually, because Frederick Douglass has stated several times he did not know who his father was. How the hell does Umar Johnson know?
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So without a DNA test, which will not happen because I have approached the Historical Society of Talbot County, trying to get in contact with the Aaron family, which the descendants still live in Talbot County, to try to get a DNA test to try to prove or disprove whether or not Aaron Anthony is the father of Frederick Douglass. And the Talbot County Historical Society has said that the descendants of Aaron Anthony do not want anything to do with anything having to do with Frederick Douglass. They will not even turn over papers or anything else because that's a shameful part of their family history. So that's not going to happen. So until they do that, anything that comes out of Umar Johnson's mouth about those two being brothers is a bunch of bull. And another thing, if you put a bunch of Bailey men, real Bailey men, not Umar Johnson, real Bailey men together, you will see a distinct family resemblance. I got several cousins, not first cousins, not second cousins, but cousins down the line, and we get mistaken for each other all the time. I got a cousin named Jamel Bailey. We are down the line cousins. People walk up to me constantly and think I'm him. Bailey men from Talbot County, we all look alike. So he missed me with that crap.
No, I want to say it just, but look at his audience. His audience is mostly people who are, I hate to say it, they're people who are just looking for anything to grasp onto, like some type of hope and stuff like that. And I don't want to count because I don't know them for Adam. They might be educated to the point where they know that, what he's saying I agree with, but they're not educated to the point where they should go check their research, and meaning that they probably have degrees or whatnot, but they're not tech savvy and they don't know just to go check their sources and whatnot. And then there's other group of people who we all know are pretty much hoteps who come in and just take his word for gospel. And if anybody says anything against him, then we're pieces of shit, and we don't know anything. We're sellouts and we're cooning and all this shit. But it's just,
well, they all share the same thing in common, and you know how I feel about them hotepos. Fuck them, but but they all have the same thing in common. And it's sad that what they have in common is that they're looking for an easy answer outside of themselves. But it's such a large group of people, and it's just kind of like, I guess the tragedy of it all is that he's got this audience, and this is what he's doing with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's not educating these people. He's not actually doing anything productive for our community.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? It's like when I was out there, going to clubs, being the condom fairy. That's being productive. I'm out there tossing condoms like, hey, wrap it up and have a good night. But that's productive. That's doing something. He's not even educating people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, when you toss a condom out there, people go, what the hell's happening? Why is the bouncer throwing condoms at me? And then you get to do what? Educate people, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not even educating people. He's riling them up and leading them nowhere.
Exactly.
And that's the tragedy of all this. He's got such a large audience that if he just did right,
he would be a force.
He'd be a force.
If he stood on his own and didn't try to piggyback on lies,
yeah,
and actually led marches, and actually was in the community doing stuff instead of lying, if he practiced what he preached and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? If he was 100, if he kept it 100, the dude would. I mean, he's not dumb.
No,
he's not dumb by any stretch. The dude could be truly great if he didn't lie.
Yes,
all the time.
If he didn't lie and do this, Lord forgive me, the shit he does. If he just went out there and just kept it 100, you know what I'm saying? Lived the lifestyle that he tried to put on everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And try to be a force in the community instead of talking about what everybody else should do. If he led by example, you know what I'm saying? All this stuff going on out here, you got the Black Lives Matter movement and all that kind of stuff, whatever. If he went out there and led, if it was him leading the marches from the front, instead of pimping himself with these daggone lectures and talking about the stuff from the rear.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Some shit happened.
You know, in the military we call it in the rear with the gear. He back there watching everybody duffel bags and everybody up front fighting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Right. True though.
If he was leading the march from the front instead of in the rear with the gear, the dude would be a force.
You'll be respected.
He would be respected for action instead of just talking shit. Everybody can run around talking shit, but who gonna get out there and do something?
Right.
You ain't Umar Johnson.
No.
He gonna talk shit. He gonna take your money. He gonna keep it moving, and he gonna go on his Facebook. He gonna post. I'm going to Africa. I'm going to this country. I'm going to that country. Whatever. Guess what? He going with your money.
Yeah.
Right.
He going with your money because he gave you some feel good shit.
Thank you.
And you said that you clap. Oh yeah. You freaking commenting on him. He's a big lovable teddy bear and this and that. Yeah. Keep giving him your money. Keep giving him your money. And every town he go in, he come in and give you some feel good bullshit. And he got some. And when he go back to the hotel, guess what? He got some girl that's gonna meet him there.
Exactly.
And it's the thing, y'all as people who follow him, y'all should feel bad because he's making y'all look stupid.
Stupid. Exactly. Yeah. Because I was had talk. One of our friends the other day sat there and saying, he posted a video of Umar Johnson. And he posted another video of somebody saying some, like as Terence put in, feel good stuff and stuff to make you go, And when he says, I want y'all to respond to it, I said, it has Umar Johnson's name on it, which means it's automatic bullshit. So I was like, because anybody can sit there and say that and get you feeling a certain way, but because, he was on Breakfast Club. Yeah, so-and-so interviewed him. But what has he done outside of it? Because everybody else who probably knows him out there, like, doing actual stuff, probably know that he's not for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I said it at this rally. He just took it and wrapped it up and went to the Breakfast Club and stuff like that, made it all nice and neat and everything. But once you get past that, because that's just, to me, just a hook. That was him throwing a hook out to somebody who is low and probably don't have that much self-esteem for themselves, or just looking for answers, or just, just simply want to be join something but don't know the right place to go. And then he sends out the hook and he reels them in, and then he's in there, like, now what? I need your money. That's what. You know what I'm saying? I don't have much, but here you go. And then, if you don't have any more money, then he has no more use for you. And it's funny because I've been listening to a Charles Manson thing on my podcast, and it's the way they said how he got people in his family is eerily similar to how Umar Johnson works with his folks. So
he said, "Well, you called me about your kid, and I'm gonna ask you, did you donate to my school?" No.
See.
But I want to hit on something real quick.
Okay.
My memory is about as long as my hair. So, Umar Johnson said he made a comment. He said that no, did he make? Was it him that made a comment, or was it somebody, one of his cronies? Doesn't matter, but said that Umar Johnson has done more with the BS that he's done than the entire Bailey family has done for the legacy of Frederick Douglass.
No.
Somebody bold.
Okay, let me clear the record on that. You can go to fdfi.org. That's the family website. My cousin Kenneth, honorary Dr. Kenneth B Morris Jr. is the founder and CEO of the family website. This is my cousin that put out the first statement on. He put out a statement before I did on Umar Johnson, stating that Umar Johnson is not a member of the family. He is not in our archives in Washington D.C. because the family organization was getting inundated with a bunch of questions about Umar Johnson and his BS. So my cousin had to respond. The organization had to respond, and the CEO, my cousin, the CEO had to respond. And then Umar Johnson put out a letter calling my cousin all kinds of names, calling him, saying that he's not even a real black man, and even talked about my cousin's wife because she's white. He even denigrated my cousin's wife, his wife of 30 years, the mother of his 2 daughters. 2 daughters, by the way, which my cousin has raised, and one of them is in college looking forward to a great career, who is musically gifted. My cousin also is musically gifted. He used to sing backup for Shalimar and Jody Watley and Howard Hewitt. His wife sings on Broadway.
Disrespectful all around.
Okay, so I've never seen a picture of Umar with his kids. How in the hell is my family or Kenneth Morris or anybody in his family jealous of Umar Johnson?
He has kids?
Yeah, that individual has kids. I want to say something else, but he has kids. And I'm going to tell you something else. The family organization does work with human trafficking, modern day slavery. All right. We do work on Capitol Hill with congressmen and senators. We have a school curriculum that's in the schools, public schools. Now people, but yet we're not doing nothing. Now, my cousin Ken is going to be on Nat Geo October the 7th at 7 p.m. for the Nat Turner, Rise of Nat Turner. Okay. He'll be interviewed for the upcoming movie, The Rise of Nat Turner, and that's going to be on Nat Geo. That's not the first time he's been on Nat Geo. He's got, if you go on YouTube, there's several interviews where Nat Geo and other networks have interviewed him. They interviewed my cousin Ken and his mother, my cousin Natty Washington Douglass, just before Barack Obama got elected on CNN. They wanted to know how the Bailey family felt about Barack Obama. Barack Obama is actually a friend of the family. The family knew Barack Obama before he was president, but he was a senator in Illinois. And there's a bunch of schools out there, African-centered schools, that need the black community's help and attention. These are schools that exist. That need that everybody attempted that I'm starting. It's an organization that's not religious based, not racially based. It's a multicultural organization with an attempt to bring everybody together. When you've seen stuff happen to people that is I guess the best way to put it, if you're a veteran or a person that's maybe like you worked in humanitarian stuff or whatever, where you've been outside the country or whatever, and you see, poor people, or you've been like, I don't know if any of you guys are vets, but you've seen, death and just a bunch of crap, precious. And like here in the United States, like we got, like the situation we got in Chicago, I don't think that's just a black problem. I think that's a problem for everybody. Up in Minnesota, you got the Asian gangs that they're these guys are like from Tibet or whatever. I can't remember the name of the gang, but you never hear about them on TV, and they're killing up each other. Something terrible. In New York, you got the Latin Kings, stuff like that. You don't hear about them on TV no more. I used to hear about them on TV all the time when I lived in Connecticut back when I was a teenager. But you don't hear about them at all anymore. It's not that that crime has lessened any. It doesn't make news. You know, gang violence hasn't changed at all. It doesn't make news because it's not newsworthy. Now this stuff with the police officers and African Americans, whatever, see, that makes news. When you look at the real numbers of the amount of African Americans that are actually getting killed, it's not the most. It's not the top. You know, we're not the ones at the top of the list that are getting killed. You know what I'm saying? But it makes news. It makes news. It you know, I don't know what to call it, man, other than social poisoning.
Well, it's kind of what I go into whenever people say, like, I always tell people the moment you say black on black crime, you automatically have lost all credibility. I'm like, because the reality of the fact is, because white people, they act, scared and shit. And I go, really? Because 80% of violent crime against white people is perpetrated by white people. So really, y'all ain't got to worry about us, right? And it's the same thing with a lot of these other numbers that they toss out there just to scare the shit out of people. And it doesn't make any sense. It's the same as people not realizing that mass shootings happen in gun-free zones, but they don't want to say that. Illinois has some of the harshest gun control laws, but Chicago is in Illinois. So is it a black problem? Is it a white problem? No, it's a problem. And, they want to make it as salacious as possible. Nobody gets attention like black people dying gets attention. And I'm kind of sick of the emotional warfare myself. It's like I can't even watch it anymore. People are just like, oh, did you see that, that video of so-and-so? I'm like, no, not going to watch it. It's like all it is psychological warfare. I don't need it.
Right.
The thing about the news outlets and TV in general, if you don't, what you got to realize, if they don't do something or say something in order to get you to watch their newscast or watch their program, they don't make money. It's about money. They got to get you to watch their program. So they're going to do and say whatever it is they have to do and say. They're going to promote whatever it is they have to promote to get you to watch their program.
Like claiming to be a family member of Frederick Douglass.
Say again?
I said, yeah, like claiming to be a family member of Frederick Douglass.
Yeah.
And he did the same shit right there. It's like, I'm a family member of Frederick Douglass because he needs the money, he needs the attention, he needs someone to say, let me give $1 million to this school that has no plan.
Like I said, dude, before this video gets way too long, did anybody got any last words about anything about Umar Johnson or organizations or anything?
Yeah, I want to put these organizations out about these schools.
Okay.
Did he change his name recently?
Who?
Umar Johnson. I heard he changed his last name or something. I don't know. Either way, he's a fraud. He's a flat-out fraud. It's like on Family Guy. He's a big fat phony. He's a phony.
Well, in all fairness, this Jermaine Shoemake thing. In my research, I did find out this one thing. I want to set the record clear on that, because if I'm going to bash the man, if I found out something that different that may that may be true, I will at least put that out there. The Jermaine Shoemake thing, from my understanding, that is what he was born as. His father converted. From my understanding, his father converted to Islam and changed his name around the age of 5 to Umar. Then he changed his name and his siblings' names. So he was born Jermaine Shoemake or whatever, but his father changed his name after a conversion to Islam. So that has not been his name since he was 5 years old. That's my understanding. So, in all fairness, if clear, got to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
In all fairness, he didn't change his name. It's like, in all fairness, he didn't change his name.
Yeah, that was his father's doing, not Umar Johnson.
Not his doing.
Yeah.
I guess if I got anything parting, it would be, just be careful of who you're choosing to follow. You know what I mean? Like, think for yourself. Stop following somebody just because they say some shit that they might say something true that resonates with you. It doesn't mean you just follow them, let alone, giving them $1 million for school ain't got no plan while he busy lying left and right. But as we're starting to see from a lot of these, popular pastors and popular preachers coming out, and we're finding them doing shit to kids. And I'm thinking to myself, y'all worried about a tranny in the bathroom, but y'all handing your kids over to these people. Think about who it is you're trusting. Think about who it is you're following. Don't just do this shit blindly.
Exactly.
With, let me see here, the African Resistance blog spot. That's a good website to go to. Sent to me by a friend of mine. The Darby School of Trenton, New Jersey is a African-centered school that's in existence. Freedom Home Academy International is also a school that's currently in existence. I don't even know how to, I can't even pronounce that. The UHURU Academy of Fort Worth, Texas is a African-centered school that needs money to stay open, doing good work down there. And these are schools that are that are actually already in existence.
Mm-hmm.
And people, and this guy's collected, pretty much like $500,000. And these people are like asking for donations are only like $500. And this guy's collected like $500,000, and you don't even know where your money's at
all.
And if you ask him where your money at, he tell you to kick rocks. These people, you said these schools, you send them money, they at least give you a certificate or something. They'll
give you receipts,
acknowledge you, and acknowledge yeah.
Give you a certificate or something. Acknowledge you, put you on the internet, whatever. Thank you for your donation or whatever. And it will tell you which child that you just helped to get through school.
And the reality is, they ain't even got to do all of that. Because we know that they exist. We know that they're already dealing with kids. It's not even a matter of, it's a school that might happen. I don't give a shit if they thank me or not. We already know that they're there.
Right.
We know that they're there. We know that they need help. But that's just me being, my superhero complex. I can't help that shit.
And there's one more thing here. I gotta find it. And this is from the Frederick Douglass Family Initiatives. My cousin Kenneth Morris. As a direct descendant of Frederick Douglass, I come in contact with many fans of the great abolitionist as I travel the world. Quite often, people will tell me I read the Douglass narrative and it made me believe that I could accomplish more than I ever dreamed possible. There are tens of thousands of people that I have inspired, that have been inspired by Douglass and his bicentennial approaches in 2018. Our organization, the Frederick Douglass Family Initiatives, wants to inspire and empower 1 million young people across the country by getting a copy of the narratives of the life of Frederick Douglass in their hands. We have created a project called the 1 Million Abolitionists. We will print 1 million special edited hard copies of the narrative and give them to young people in communities everywhere. In 2018, we will ask secondary school students to take action against social injustice in their own communities and around the world by doing service projects. FDFI has been addressing issues of human trafficking and modern-day slavery through service learning, curricula, and prevention education initiatives in schools since 2007. Our partners on the project include the National Park Service, National Youth Leadership Council, the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center, and Yale University. I'm sure that you would be equally as thrilled as I am at the thought that together we might help inspire 1 million young people with Douglass's words. It makes me believe that together we can accomplish a fraction of what my great ancestor had. I would love to talk to you and whomever you deem to be an appropriate person at your organization to tell you more about this project. And the rest is personal information, which I'm not going to air on Facebook. YouTube. But we're not doing nothing.